Hello, this is Pamela, the Divorce Mystic. I'm an over 25-year intuitive divorce attorney, mediator, and coach who's integrated a spiritual practice into my business. And today, we're moving on with the Chakra and Divorce series to the last part, part 7, the role of the crown chakra. The crown chakra is located at the top of our head. It's associated with the color violet, and it is associated with the element of thought or will, or as some people like to refer to it as complete emptiness. The crown chakra is what allows us to extend beyond our physical body into our connection with spirit, into our enlightenment, into our understanding that there is no duality, that we are all connected to that sacred oneness. And we learn that through our crown chakra. We also use that crown chakra to download divine wisdom from our higher self, from our soul family, from our guides, from our ancestors. Any wisdom that's coming through from any body, any spirit, any dimension comes through that crown chakra in order to support our soul's journey through this earthly experience. When that crown chakra is balanced, we're able to tune into that higher place. We're able to remember who we really are outside of these physical bodies. We're able to ask for and receive support from the higher dimensions. Again, whether it comes from our higher self, comes from our guides, comes from our soul family, that is the place. So we must have that open and acknowledge that it's there, and that the energy body is more important than the physical body because it comes through there first. So the health of our energy body is what dictates what goes on with our physical body. So if you think of a divorce, separation and divorce, the most powerful things that happen in that process are the feeling of isolation. And now that if you have gone through all of the chakras with me, the root chakra is affected first, is it not? It breaks the foundation. The foundation crumbles, and all of the things that happen as a result of a weak root chakra play havoc on a divorce. Moving our way up, all the way to the crown. The crown is necessary for our upper knowledge, our ability to truly tap into our wisdom. We're always on a path, and most of our path is a combination between what we have initially agreed to prior to incarnation, right? And some of it is directed by our will. But we are always on a path of some kind. Sometimes we get lost and we veer right when we should left and left when we should right. So we're not broken if we get a little lost. Our compass isn't gone or taken or stripped from us. It's just we're blocked. And think of it as a little trip. You know, many times we've gone on a trip and we've taken a little side journey for exploration purposes. Sometimes parts of our life are like that. We've veered off, but we will always be moved back, pushed back, nudged back. You know, however you want to look at it, we are always pushed into the right direction. Sometimes divorce happens as one of those pushings. It's a nudge. Doesn't mean we're on the wrong path. Doesn't mean we're with the wrong person. Doesn't mean anything like that. It means that's part of our soul family. And it's time to move on in the direction of our soul's path, wherever we're meant to go next. What are we meant to experience, to learn, to explore next? So when we feed or allow ourselves to digest what other people feel about divorce or about what should happen in a divorce, what do? We chew it up and we swallow that we can't be friends, that we can't keep things intact, that the family's destroyed. What if, you've heard this now, if you've been with me through this 7 times, what if it truly is part of your soul family? And if that's the case, then the human destruction or termination of the bonds of matrimony does not interfere with the soul family. And it doesn't interfere with the idea that the family's still a family. It just looks different. It's just transformed. Each member of that family is also on a soul journey. So whether it is looked at as I must move to the next phase to fulfill what my soul wanted to accomplish in this lifetime, I have more to do. as they say, people to see, things to do, right? Or it's the spouse or both. If we can keep that in mind, that it's not just this one human journey and that's it. That soul family that you're with, your children if you have any, your parents, your siblings, your close friend network, that whole collective is considered part of your soul family. So whatever roles that you may be playing in different lifetimes, whether you look at it as a past or parallel lifetime, you're playing different roles for each other to have the ability to experience, to explore, to learn, to share. So whether in this relationship with your current spouse, you are or someone that you're helping, one is more of a teacher and one is more of a student, one's more of a student than the teacher, or it's been an equal balance, whatever it is, if it's come to a point that it's now time to move forward, if the soul contract is ended, in terms of what that couple, if it's you, what your soul contract intended to accomplish in this lifetime, if that's terminated and there is no more, then of course it's time for each party to move on to the next phase of their journey, whatever that means for them. If we can honor that understanding, even if we don't fully understand it from a conscious standpoint, if we could just tune in long enough to make that leap of faith, that this is part of my soul family. I know that this is meant for me somehow. I feel the nudge. If you're the one who feels the nudge to move, then do it, right? I don't mean, I'm not directing you to do something, except for being able to tune in to your higher wisdom. And with that crown chakra being blocked, you're not allowing it in. So as long as we are able to keep that channel of communication open, you're able to tune in. You're able to see, am I ready to leave this marriage? Or if you're in a should I stay or should I go mode? Or is it more of a time to make some adjustments within it because there's still things to accomplish? But if you're at that stage that there is no going back, one's made the decision, whether it's you or your spouse, to move forward, can you try to rest in the knowing that if you just have enough faith and do what's necessary to do the healing that comes with any transition, particularly a transition where there is such a close relationship as a spouse, where there's learning and teaching, you must grab the learning. You must understand the learning, make sense of it, integrate it, and allow that to be your closure, right? The bow is the forgiveness, right? Because you're not just forgiving them, you're forgiving yourself. And that forgiveness that you give is, of course, coming from your heart chakra, which if that is blocked, it's not allowing those higher virtues to come through. We all have them. We're born with them. They're natural. We live with them outside of this body. So we are loving beings. And if I say, describe to me what love means, right? You'll have your own interpretation of what that word love means and what it's meant to you in your life. In a situation where our heart chakra is blocked, we're unable to find those virtues, right? So we stay stuck in perhaps anger or sadness, whatever it may be, where again, all of the chakras from the root, where our foundation feels a little shattered when we're moving through a transition such as divorce, all the way up to our crown, they need to be there needs to be an equilibrium. It needs to be balanced. It needs to be aligned so that all of those things are working together. It's like driving a car down the road and you need to stop and you might have a brake, but you don't have any brake fluid, right? Something goes wrong. So in a situation where you're learning to pay attention to your energetic body, remembering that there's so many decisions that must be made during the divorce process. There's emotional maturity that must be mastered. Yes, it's a high word, and I've set the bar high by using the word mastered. But surely those who can master their emotions, master their understanding of how they are and how they feel energetically, and they're able to adjust when necessary, you run the show. Because everybody else is playing in a different playground, right? You're playing in a playground that is manipulating the energies, right? So that you can take control of a room if you're in a settlement room. If all of your chakras are aligned, you're not sitting there with a broken root chakra. You're not sitting there with your heart closed. You're not sitting there with your creativity inhibited, and any of the other things that go. Like I said, if you've been with me through all of them, you know how important each one of these chakras are and how important it is for them to be balanced. If you're the one who's there, hopefully now, 7 chakras later, you can see the power you hold, not only for yourself, but for your family, and in any settlement discussion or any decision that you have to make in that divorce process. You hold the key, you hold the power. It's like, here's the key, or just put it in any door you want, because you've mastered your ability to control the room. Those who have the energy control the room. Or those who have a handle on the energy control the room. You know when to stop, you know when to go forward, you know when to lean back, you know when to lean in, you know when to ask for something, you know the difference between a position and an interest. You can feel somebody shifting. Your ability to read the room, is just call it master level in terms of your ability to negotiate a divorce settlement that behooves you and your family. And I don't say this lightly when I say I'm not out here teaching all of this so that one party can take advantage of another party, or all of the trendy words out there, how to divorce a narcissist, how to do this. That's not my game. My game is for parties to understand that a family truly is a family. It's just redefined. That what we do in our human shoes sometimes is horrible, but we can move through a divorce understanding that the family needs to transition if there's children in a way that's for our highest good, right? And anytime we do things coming from our heart, not from that fearful place of, I have to get revenge, right? We make decisions that are enduring in terms of our agreement and good for children and good for co-parenting relationships, good for the whole entire soul family and human family collective, right? Grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends. Nobody's taking sides. Nobody's hurting anybody. Everybody's loving the couple and the family through the process. Sometimes it's hard to get family members on board if it's not in their, as an example, not in their belief system that divorce is okay. That's okay. You can deal with a couple people. It's when you let everybody into your space and fill that space up with negativity. It's not negative sounding when someone says, oh, you poor thing, they hurt you, and I help you get him or her. Do these things, get a bulldog attorney, do this or that, whatever advice and that they think they are helping you with. What's actually happening is they are destroying any possibility of you having a graceful, peaceful, amicable divorce, whereby your family can transition smoothly, whereby you can use that opportunity to learn communication skills with each other so that you can, even though you're not staying married, if you have children, you can learn to co-parent. You can learn to respect each other, respect the fact that you are the parents who are moving forward in a co-parenting relationship, different than one household. So that the house that is broken, you could create 2 beautiful, loving homes for your children and a unity between the 2 of you that actually, in a lot of cases, and I'm not saying something I haven't witnessed, right? I've witnessed both sides in over 25 years, the good and the bad, and sometimes the ugly. But I've been able to see it happen where couples can emerge from a divorce process united like they've never been, able to communicate better than they ever have, able to understand each other like they never have, able to discuss things from an interest-based perspective rather than a position-based. And their children thrived. There was no getting used to mom and dad divorcing. It just was a part of what the family did because the mom and dad took control and demanded that everybody in their life stop the bus. This is what we want from you. We want you to support us. We want your love. We want your compassion. We want you to treat our children with a little bit more love and kindness right now because they're going to need it, where we might be lacking a little bit because of our own adjustment through this process and pain and having to heal and find our own way and our own footing. We need you to support us, not be against one or the other. At the end of all of this, we're still going to be a family. We're just going to look different, and everybody's going to interact in a way that that couple trains the rest of the family and friends network to treat them. So if you tell them, I don't want you to respect my spouse, then you're going to go forward in a situation where there's going to be resistance once the dust settles to having everything go back to some kind of normalcy for your children, if you have children. If there's no children and you decide not to be together anymore, and the soul journey, each party's moving on and the soul contract is terminated, the divorce has gone through, and each party has is moving on and there's no reason to stay connected. Even in that situation, you don't want to wish for parties to take your side. You don't want to wish ill will to the other side. You don't want that boomerang of energy to come back at you. We still are responsible for cause and effect. We can change karma, in this new era that we are moving into, we're not there. So those that are telling you we're there, we're not there. It's going to be not in our lifetime. But what we can do is we can make it a better place for our children and our descendants going forward in terms of how things are looked at, people's perception. One of my main messages and my main mission is to change the perception of divorce and how people are treated in it, how they perceive it, and how they're treated in it. So that if more and more people divorce in a way that's not just amicable, but conscious, right? An awakening is an awakening of your consciousness. That's all it is, right? We're expanding our knowledge. So again, looking at the crown chakra, you're opening up that crown chakra and taking a peek outside of your physical body and seeing, oh, there's a whole new world out here and I'm a part of it, right? And we're united and there's a brotherhood, there's a unity, there's no competition. We're all helping each other to go to the same place. We're all headed in the same direction. There's no competition. So what I do to you, I'm actually doing to me. And I close most of my videos with namaste. And what is that saying? It's saying that the divine in me is acknowledging and loving the divine in you. In a divorce process, that person that you're divorcing is still a spirit, a divine spirit, one that's connected outside of here as well. One who's a part of your soul family will always be a part of your soul family. So part of the karmic baggage that is carried forward, it's from things like this, meaning divorce, that are not looked at consciously, so that energy is reserved, it stays there, it's static. And we have to come back around, right? In a normal karmic situation, we have to come back around and make it right. Rather than just making it right now. Stop the bleed, as they say. If you want karma to change or cause and effect to change, and we want to create a new system for us to live under, then we have to be the one to change it, do we not? They say, become the change you want. So in a divorce situation, become what you want to see. Treat that person and the family the way you want to be treated if you're on the outside supporting them. If you're one looking at this video because you're supporting somebody going through it, then share this information the best that you can, but practice it and see the change. See the change. Yes, at first they'll say, whose side are you on? But then they're going to see the beauty of it going forward, that you didn't dig your heels in right along with them and cause more drama. One of the things we want to get rid of in the divorce process is the drama. And in order to do that, we have to deal with the energy of the system, but taking control of our personal energetic system is going to start the process in motion. Many have tried, right? Many have tried to do good for the divorce industry, such as mediation and getting mediation codified, the collaborative process, getting the collaborative divorce approved and codified. So many have taken steps, but again, it's all the physicalness of the process, and that is wonderful. But there's that little piece that, from a personal standpoint, from the couple walking through the divorce, that can make it better for them. where it's not just mechanical, right? It's not just saying words, it's actually feeling it, experiencing it, and then doing it and becoming a role model for the people who come behind you, and so on and so on and so on. It's only going to be then when people like me are brave enough to come out here and say, ditch the dogma and ditch the way you've thought of divorce and help redesign it, because it's going to happen. And if it's going to happen, and in some cases, if it's a natural part of the soul progression or soul's evolution, then why should we beat people up for it? Why shouldn't we love and support them through it? Why shouldn't we provide a space for them to take care of their young children, that there is no transition to them? It's just like, oh, cool. I'm going from one bedroom, now I have two. Kind of cool. And they learn from their parents the role modeling of love and compassion and forgiveness. And to do that, all of the energy body must be aligned. And then the physical body and the physical movement that you make afterwards, or because of that, is the expression that you put out into the world. So I'm hoping that this series helped you. Know that you've got this. Know that all is well with your soul. Know that there are other chakras, of course, out there that are working with you, or in our system that's working with you as well. But these are the 7 main ones. And if you can get comfortable with these, and remember, it's not hard to stay aligned. Every morning, if you're in the divorce process or if you're helping somebody else, do the exercise with them. Just go through, have them go through it. If it's you, go through it every day. Close your eyes. What am I feeling? Starting at the root, right? I said, look at the color if it helps you. How red is my root? Do I feel balanced? Do I feel it am I Humpty Dumpty on the wall and I can fall down in all directions? Or do I feel solid? And if you don't feel solid, create that solidity. Create something that allows you to feel that solidness to the earth, whether it's, developing a tree or making a tree, right? And digging it into the earth for you, whatever it may be, some rope. I don't like to give too many ideas, because I want you to be creative, because that's part of the divorce process in terms of settlement negotiations as well, is being able to be creative, being able to be open and flexible, and being able to participate where there's options that need to be gathered, and not having a closed experience, but an open, engaging, and creative one, so that the agreements that you reach are enduring and truly unique to your family, and ones that will make you happy going forward, rather than, why did I do this? Unlike a buyer's remorse, where we're asking, will they return this or not? Will I get a money or a refund back, or a store credit? It doesn't work that way in a settlement agreement. So again, pay the attention every day, particularly every day that you're going to have to do something related to your divorce. Go through those chakras, make sure that you feel good. And if you don't feel aligned and you can't feel a shift in you once you do that, and literally it could be in the beginning a little bit more time, but if you master this, it could become, a 5-minute exercise in the shower, or while you're putting on your makeup if you're female, or shaving if you're male. It could be 5 minutes going through and just making sure you're aligned and doing your protection in terms of not allowing your energy exposed to, even your loving friends and family, so that they're not influencing your decision making and your movement through your divorce. Could take a few minutes. That's it. A few minutes a day. And it's so worth it. Particularly when you're at that stage where you're sitting down and you're negotiating settlement terms, whether you're doing it one-on-one with your spouse or in a room with other professionals. Again, just keep that in mind as the bonus of all of this, is if you control the energy, you control the room. So do your best when you're to not go into a situation with an imbalance. But if you're in something and you do find yourself shaken off balance, stop it, take a break. If you have to, move it to another day, because that is the only thing that's going to give you the assurity that what you're doing is from a place of clarity and alignment, that what you're doing in terms of redesigning your family or your own life moving forward, these are very critical decisions that cannot be made just a snap decision because it's out of fear, out of lack, or you just want it over with. But I guess above all, before I say Before I say namaste to you, just remember that you do have this. And this phase of life, however long it takes to get you through it, depending on your jurisdiction and the team you have available, however long it takes, there is another side. There is the other side of this. And the more time you spend dealing with what we've talked about over these last 7 parts, these 7 series, the more you spend there, the easier that journey is going to be, and the quicker the other side will reach you. But the best part is if you reach the other side ready to move forward, unlike others who look 20 years and they're still looking back at regrets, and I wish I would have done something different, or remorse, or they can't get over it. They're stuck 20 years later at some people. And or others that have moved on to their 2nd, 3rd, and 4th divorce. You're not that. You won't find yourself in that space, right? That's your reward, and that's the blessing that comes with this. And your children, if you have them, they will do nothing but thank you as adults for making such a hard transition so pleasant for them. It's not pleasant, but as loving as possible, as easy as possible, so that they've learned through that process what to do when things get tough in their own life. You're a parent, you're a great role model, and you can also be a role model for the rest of a community who will, at some point, face perhaps a divorce of their own, and they can look to you for true inspiration rather than further destruction into the human drama that's normally associated with divorce. So I wish you namaste, and I thank you for being with me through this process, through this journey. Bye now.